We're live, people. We're live. My name is Alam. This is another Toronto Hoop Talk stream for you guys today. Today we have a watch along for Canada versus the Dominican Republic. Um, I'm joining in the middle of the game. Couldn't make the entirety of the game. We are at the end of the third quarter. It is 60-57 Canada. There's 3.5 minutes to go. I got Curry Pirate in here, checking in from Vancouver. Big up Curry Pirate. Appreciate the love. We got Mange checking in. Sarcasm City chat regular. Big up to you. Definitely good to see you guys in here. Shout out to everybody watching this live. Shout out to everybody watching this on the replay. Regardless of when you're watching this, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, engage with the content if you enjoy it. The power is in your hands to support content to make it grow bigger. So make sure you run it up if you're here. I couldn't do a watch long for the whole game. That wasn't possible for me. But I'm tapping in for the last 13 minutes. Looks like a close game. I've heard good things about what's going on the court. Apparently, I realized we're going up against Karl Anthony Towns. I did not know that. I didn't know that Cat was on this team. I'll be real. Totally forgot that. So honestly, to go against a player like that, it's a pretty good test. A lot of FIBA teams are like that in the sense that they have one really good established NBA talent, but then they'll just have role players around them who aren't quite NBA talents. So if you look at a Slovenia, a Serbia, Greece, these are the kind of teams you run up against. So this should be a good test because I think Cat's game would be pretty well suited to FIBA rules, I think. But I haven't seen it yet, so we'll see as this game goes on. I think bench players are playing right now for both sides, so not much of an indication in the way of how both teams look at full strength from what I've seen so far. DR is at the line, just made a free throw, so now it's 61-60 for Dominican Republic. Yeah, I'm looking at the players on the court. We got Bell Haynes on the court. We got, I think, Kyle Alexander, one of the Scrub brothers, Lou Dort. The number 5, I'm not sure about. Number 5, I'm not entirely sure who is. But yeah, people, if you guys have been tapping in so far and you've watched more of the game than I have, make sure you let me know in the chat what I've missed, because I'd love to know who's played well, who hasn't played well, what I should be looking for. Definitely feel free to let me know. Canada just made a bucket, 62-61 for Canada now. I know there was a couple guys in the chat yesterday that bet on Canada to win. I wonder if people are betting on them to win here as well. I think the odds would be better against Spain, obviously, but hey, this should have a higher chance of turning out. Dominican Republic, I think there was an offensive foul called before the miss, but he missed regardless. They're showing the block. Bell Haynes getting blocked on a couple possessions ago. Lou Dort going around to Kyle Alexander's screen, taking the contact at the basket, but missing the shot in the end. They're calling a foul underneath the rim against the Dominican Republic, so Canada keeps the ball. So yeah, I know yesterday I was struggling with the Spanish team because I didn't have a roster or a box score showing who was playing. But I managed to figure it out as the game went on, just like picking names out, looking them up. And a lot of them I knew as either NBA talents or ex-NBA talents. But yeah, with this Dominican team, I'm not sure. I think outside of Cat, I already saw that they're not NBA talents, so like I have no chance to figure names out on the fly. I'll just have to refer to people as jersey numbers. Kyle Alexander taking it strong to the basket. I think they're going to call a foul on the defender underneath the rim. He thinks he got that block cleanly, but I don't think so. I think that was a good call. Kyle Alexander should go to the free throw line. I wonder if there's a trophy at the end of these two games because these two games are being shown with the same format of in terms of like the commentators and the Spanish, all the words being written in Spanish. I know the last set of games they were a part of with Spain, with Germany and China, it was a part of like a little mini tournament that Canada ended up winning. I wonder if there's a tournament for these matches as well between Spain and the Dominican Republic. And I mean, if we get both those wins, I'm sure like it would be us who gets that. So good little way to head into the FIBA tournament with two trophies. This crowd looks much more empty than the Spanish crowd. The Spanish crowd was jam packed. They were all in there making noise. There was definitely a clear home court advantage for Spain. But in this game, it looks like while the crowd is mainly Dominican fans, the stadium isn't full at all. So, yeah. So far, I've only managed to see bench players. I'm actually looking on Twitter right now, and it seems like the plan for the next quarter or so is to have bench players playing. So if we don't see the starters, that sucks for me personally because obviously I didn't get a chance to see the starters play. But it'll be good to evaluate some of the other talent, evaluate some of the guys who don't have nailed down spots. Yeah, it'll be fun. I know as far as the bench unit goes, Lou Dort has to be there. Nikhil has to be there. And then everybody else, honestly, can come and go. Like Zach Edey provides size that Kyle Alexander doesn't, but I think Kyle Alexander has a much more polished game. From the Scrub brothers, what I've seen from them in the friendlies, I don't think they've done enough to show that like a spot should be theirs. I know in the last game it was Bell Haynes and Melvin Edgem that played beside Nikhil Alexander Walker and Lou Dort, but neither of them either staked a huge claim on minutes. So the only guarantees for the second unit, I think, are Lou Dort and Nikhil. Every other spot is up for grabs, and I think that's the kind of stuff that you'll get to get a feel for if the bench players get minutes is who deserves those spots. I know offhand for me personally, I don't want to see us go small. I don't want to see us play a small bench lineup because our bench last game it got rocked. It got rocked in terms of rebounds. They out rebounded our bench badly, and honestly, that was what kept the game competitive. I don't think it should have gone into overtime, but offensive rebounds are the reason it did. So it is what it is. You got to take that. You got to learn from it. I think the lesson that should be taken from it is that we shouldn't play with basically four guards or like four perimeter players. There was no true big on the court aside from Edey. And Edey's 7'4". He's a big guy. So if there were to be one big on the court, it would be him. But he had his other limitations, and even him by himself, he couldn't figure out how to like command the boards by himself. So if Kyle Alexander plays, it just even makes it a bigger deal that we shouldn't be playing with only one big. So I would like to see two bigs take both of those spots and then have one more perimeter player besides Lou Dort and Nikhil. If I had to pick somebody based on how the guys have played so far, it would probably be Trey Bell Haynes. He's made his mistakes, but he's also had some good moments as well in the minutes that I saw, especially yesterday. Like he had some good drives to the rim. Scrub from the corner misses the shot. Yeah, whenever the Scrub brothers miss threes, it's tough because it's just like that's your specialty. That's what you guys are on the court to do. You got to make those shots. Simple as that. When it comes to specialty players, it's simple as that. 63-62. Not much scoring since I've tuned in personally. I think only 5 points have been scored in the 3 minutes that I've been watching. Trey Bell Haynes gets a little floater in the lane, gives us the lead back 64-63. He's got 5 points in this game. Sidestep 3 by number 2 on DR. He makes the shot. Not an easy shot whatsoever. Trey Bell-Haynes to the rim, gets fouled, misses the look. Easily could have made it for the and one, but he didn't. My bro Gum is back from yesterday. Gum, did you bet on this game? I gotta ask because I know you did yesterday, and I know it cashed. I'm sure the odds were better for the win against Spain compared to DR, but obviously the chances of winning against DR you'd think are higher. But that being said, I heard that they're going to play bench players for this game for the rest of the way. So low key, that might have screwed people over if they bet on Canada. Nope. Okay, yeah, good choice. Good choice. Because yeah, the starters aren't going to play in the fourth. Like regardless of the situation, even if it's a close game, we're getting no starters in the fourth. But yeah, tie game. 3.5 left in the third, 66-66. And DR misses the shot. So, people, the third is over. We're going to the fourth. One last quarter of basketball. For those of you guys who haven't been here, I haven't been here either for the most of this game. I just started this stream about 15 minutes ago. Couldn't make the whole game, but I've been watching since about halfway into the third. Again, I've only had a chance to see bench minutes so far. So I myself am not the most informed about how the starters played. But just looking at the stats right now, we're 6 for 23 from three. That's not good. We're 14 for 25 from the free throw line. That's not good. 41% from the field, 23 for 56. That's not good. Getting out assisted by 9. How are we still in this game? We're out rebounding them by 6, but that's not a huge thing. Yeah, I'll be real. I'm not exactly sure how we have this game tied up the way it is because DR is effectively doing better in about every stat except rebounding by 6 rebounds, and it's a tied game. But shout out to the Canadian players for making that happen. They must be playing hard. As I said earlier, if anybody has been watching this game, who's watching this right now, if they've been watching this game for its entirety, feel free to plug me in on what's going on because I would love to know. Showing some highlights from the third quarter. Trey Bell-Haynes getting some buckets. This is the final friendly until the FIBA tournament on Friday. It starts on Friday, people, so that'll be the first watch along. It starts, I think, 9:30 Eastern time. So if you guys are getting up early to watch those games, that's the time that I'll be starting as well. Then I think the other one is midweek, early the next week, and then the last one is towards the end of next week. If you guys want to be watching any other countries in the tournament, let me know, and I can definitely do watch alongs for other countries. I know I have people tapped in for the US team and the Australia team. So those are the two teams that, if there's interest for them, I could definitely do them. But yeah, as for the other teams, I'm not really sure how many other teams I could get to, but I'll be trying to do some watch alongs for like random teams aside from Canada, like potential opponents kind of thing to scout our opponents and who we might be going against in like playoff matchups or knockout round matchups. So if Canada is in the knockout rounds, we'll also do a watch along for like the other side of the bracket and who would be getting in the next matchup. Shout out Kenyon. Kenyon says, how's it going? Any word on if we can get a replacement? Oh, for Murray. I don't think so. I haven't heard anything about a replacement. I think that we took a team for these games that kind of factored for him not being there. I'd imagine we'd be picking players from this pool, which honestly doesn't quite thrill me. But that being said, our perimeter players in the starting lineup are set, I think, with RJ, SGA, and Dylan Brooks. And then off the bench, Off the bench, it's been Lou Dort and Nikhil, who I think have their spots locked down. I don't know if there's like necessarily another guard that we'd be looking for. I think we're probably looking for front court players. So yeah, I don't know who that would be, but I'm not really sure what we would do in the way of a Jamal Murray replacement. Is Toronto Raptors a Canadian team? Yep, they're the only Canadian team in the NBA. They're the only team in the NBA from outside of America. So Canada does unite and get behind the Raptors. So if you're not too overly familiar with this channel, one of the guys that hops on the channel with me is from Edmonton, which is pretty far away. It's like all the way on the other side of the country. But being that the Raptors are the only Canadian team, it's the team he cheers for. So yes, Canada unites behind the Raptors. And as a Canadian basketball fan, like I'm going to cheer for Team Canada and the Toronto Raptors the same way. There's a review going on in the game, people. They're reviewing something. I'm not exactly sure what they're reviewing. It might be a basket interference or something, or who the ball went. Who the ball went off of before it went out of bounds. By the way, why is Jamal Murray out for the tournament? So he has some minor injuries, but it's a combination of things. So first of all, obviously he played a lot of basketball, having gone to the finals. So he's in more need of a rest compared to other NBA players. He has a little bit of an injury issue. I think it's a knee, and he just doesn't want to risk aggravating it. And then the final thing that kind of pieces the whole thing together is I think it's time to sign a contract extension as well for him. So I don't think he would want to play games with anything before an extension gets done. So I think it's all the things put together. Kenyon says injury safety. So yeah, basically like is the more concise way of saying what I said. But yeah. Kenyon, have you watched much of this game? Because I started the stream and I started watching the game in the middle of the third. I couldn't make it for the whole game. And then while I tapped in, it was the bench lineup. And what I saw from Blake Murphy on Twitter was that he is like the bench lineup is going to play for the rest of the game because they don't want to risk anything with starters at this point. Like there's nothing to gain. So I didn't get to see how the starters played. And I've been trying to see if other people have. Because to be honest, they went up against I think this team, DR, is a pretty safe, like it's a good level of competition to go up against because this is what a lot of FIBA teams are like in terms of having like one really good NBA talent and then like just a bunch of role players around them. You're going to run into teams like this. So I'm interesting to see how they fared. Okay, so he's 2 years away from an extension, but he has no incentive to do it now and should wait until next year when the TV deal makes it. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Cat is our weakness. Yeah, because we don't necessarily have like I guess the right big matchup for him. I think Dwight Powell probably lacks some size. Olynyk lacks some ability and some size. Edie lacks the ability, and Kyle Alexander lacks the size. Doesn't sound like we have a clean matchup for Cat. And even if you throw a Zach Edey like on Cat, he could like easily just like stretch the floor and take Edey away from the paint. But yeah, bro, that's what it is. That's what it is. We don't have the guys. We don't have the guys at all. But that being said, with Cap being our weakness, we're still in the game. Like it doesn't look like the Dominican Republic has blown us out at any point. I have a quarter by quarter breakdown here, but it's not loading. But yeah, I think we've been in the game the whole game. So yeah. The Dominican Republic is up 5 now, 73-68, 7 minutes to go. Cherry is in the game and he just got dunked on. Oh, 24 is gassed. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Did they call a foul or is this game still going on right now? Okay, they called a foul. But yeah, Cherry kind of got dunked on, and the other guy went right to the crowd and got gassed. Um, Cherry probably won't be playing much. No, we're playing strong. Nothing special to really mention. All right, that sounds about right. But yeah, what do you think about our bench lineup? Because I was thinking about it watching yesterday. We played a really small lineup yesterday, and I wasn't a fan of how we fared in terms of rebounding. We played obviously Dort and Nikhil, but we played them with Bell Haynes and Edgem beside Edie. So like it was a really small lineup in terms of having like perimeter, a lot of perimeter players on the court. And I'm maybe trying to offset that by having like big ass Zach Edey out there, but obviously like he has like next to no polish as a player, so it didn't work out. But also just aside from him being there, like playing small around the big, I don't think worked out, and we got smoked on the boards as a result of it. So like obviously we have no bigs, and that's tough. But honestly, I don't know. Like I'd kind of want to see what it looks like with two bigs out there on the bench lineup. I just don't want to see the team get out rebounded like that. Yeah, I think that game were his only minutes, and I don't think he did anything to say that he should continue to get that job or that role. The problem with Edie aside from Polish is that he's too slow. Yeah, that's true. That's true. 7'4", man. It's hard to move 7'4" around. It's really hard to move 7'4" around. All right, so DR is going on a bit of a run now. They're up 8, 76 to 68. I think there was the free throw that he just made after the end one. Still got the bench lineup out there with Edie on the court right now. Oh yeah. So what's it called? Am I behind it now? Yeah, the mic's right here. So shout out to StreamYard that figures out where the mic is. It gets rid of the background pretty well. But yeah, if I go this way, it picks it up. But yeah, cool. See, that's the thing. The setup is good in that way. But yeah, DR's up 10 now. They're subbing somebody on. Obviously, DR's gone on a run here. Somebody made a nice little floater over Edie. He didn't contest the shot at all. Trying to see who that is that subbed on. I think they subbed Scrub on. So we got both Scrubs, Lou Dort, Bell Haynes, and Edie on the court right now. It does say that in terms of offensive rebounds, we're out rebounding them 16 to 7, which is better than yesterday. But yo, this Figueroa guy is cooking. Lionel Figueroa. He got another bucket to make it a 12-point lead. And every time he scores, he's looking back to the crowd and he's gassing them, like he's flexing, or he ripped his shirt up a little bit, just like yelling and screaming at the crowd, bro. He is having the time of his life. He is cooking us. And I'll be real. I wish that somebody on my team was doing this because this looks fun. It looks fun for a player to be scoring and celebrating so often. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll see you around Kenyon. Shout out to you. Appreciate you dropping by. 5 minutes to go, people. 5:20 to go. We'll be done this pretty shortly. Obviously, watching the bench players is not nearly as fun or interesting or entertaining, but we're gonna get through it. We're gonna be learning things about these bench players and the candidates for those last bench spots that aren't nailed down yet. But to be fair, it doesn't look like anybody's really giving us anything to look at and say, okay, this person really deserves a spot. Looks like we're kind of just having to choose between different substandard options, which is fine because it is what it is. We don't have our full team out there, but it'd be nice to not just have to play players out of circumstance. But if that's where we're at, so be it. It can get like that. 80 to 70 for the Dominican Republic. 5:10 to go. Canada with the ball. Lou Dort going around the screen, going to the basket, getting the bucket to fall at the rim, cutting the deficit to 8. That's 11 points now for Lou Dort. They're showing a replay of the Lou Dort basket, and boy, that part of the stadium is completely empty. There's not a big crowd at this stadium at all. So the Dominican Republic is making subs, and Canada will have the ball. They're subbing Cat back into the game. Excuse me? They're up 8 with 4 minutes to go against our bench, and they're subbing Cat back in the game. Boy, this is going to get ugly. Cat got switched on to Bell Haynes. Bell Haynes stepped back and took the 3. Missed. The offensive rebound ends up back in Bell Haynes' hand, and he makes a bucket at the rim. Cat looked really shaky there defensively. Sets a screen on their point guard. Oh, gets the ball as a roller, but gets stuffed at the rim by Edie. Let's go. Ooh, scrub going the other way. Tries to make something happen in transition, but his layup attempt gets blocked out of bounds, but we'll keep the ball. That was a nifty little couple of possessions there with Cat getting stuffed. And us, at least keeping the ball the other way. 4:10 to go. Cat on the court. Canadian bench players on the court to go up against him. This will be fun. If Cat doesn't cook us, that's a really good sign because he definitely should cook us. Lou Dort pull up from 3. He misses. Still 80 to 74 for the Dominican Republic. 3:55 to go. Cat with the ball in the high post. Jab step, fade away, makes the jumper over Zach Edey. The Dominican Republic fans are going crazy. Oh, wow. Bell Haynes pick and roll with Zach Edey. Edey rolled to the rim and they threw him the lob. He came down with it, but he couldn't get the finish over Cat. So they reset and Bell Haynes got to the rim for a layup. 82 to 76. 3 minutes to go, people. We're almost done here. Our bench lineup is holding their own against, it looks like probably, oh, wow. This is Dominican Republic starting lineup. Cat, in an attempt to pass the ball to the corner, one-handed, just like whipping it across the court. He missed badly. That went at good 4 or 5 feet above the guy in the corner. So we get the ball back, down 6, looking to make something happen. Zach Edey gets the ball as a roller and dunks, so that cuts the deficit to 4. Look at our bench holding their own against Cat. Look at that. Ooh. Edey got close to blocking a Dominican player's shot at the basket, but he just got there a little bit late, and that basket was made. Dominican Republic going the other way. Canada going the other way. Somebody fouled the Canadian player. Bell Haynes bringing the ball up. Double screen for Bell Haynes. Pull up 3 around the screen. Misses. Zach Edey fouls somebody underneath the rim. It looks like Cat. Yeah, Zach Edey knocked Cat to the ground. They're going to call a foul on that one, so it's going to be the Dominican Republic's ball. Dominican Republic with the ball. Edey got switched onto a point guard, and the point guard just dusted him, beat him with quickness, got around him, got to the rim. Oh, it's Figueroa as well. So the guy that's cooking us is continuing to cook us. Lou Dort tried to get a pass into Zach Edey. Karl Anthony Towns knocked it right out of bounds. So Canada keeps the ball. Still stuck 6. I think at this point, probably under 2 minutes to go. Yep, 157 to go. Actually, they're down 8, 86 to 78. Scrub with the ball, faking the handoff, posting somebody up, kicking it to Dort, takes the 3, misses. Canada ends up with the offensive rebound. Dort gets the cut, or gets the ball off of a cut, gets fouled at the basket. 140 to go. He will shoot free throws to try to make it a 6-point game. The Dominican players who got called with the fouls are really exasperated and confused about the fouls being called on them. But that being said, I mean, like, you guys are going to win. The game is over. It is not this deep. But you can tell with their fans there that their players are really, really excited about the game, and they really want to give a show to their fans. So, I mean, from their standpoint, obviously, that's nice that they're playing for the fans. Lou Dort missed the first free throw, made the second. So there's now a 7-point game. Dominican Republic up. 139 to go. The ball's in the hands of the Dominican Republic. Gum asks, why is Canada playing away every time? I think what it is it might be a time zone thing because the tournament is in the Philippines. So with it being all the way there, it makes more sense to be playing the friendlies in an area that's closer to there because you want your players to get used to the time zone. So I think that's probably the reason. I think if the tournament was in Canada or like Mexico or something closer to Canada, we would have home friendlies, but we're going to be away probably most of these times. That being said, I don't even know if this is in the Dominican Republic itself. Let me see where this is being played. I just think that their fans pulled up. Republic. We're going to look this up. We're going to see where this is being played. Oh, so this is being played in Spain. So yeah, that's what it is. So they played both these games in Grenada in Spain, or Granada, however it would be pronounced. So yeah, it's just that's what it is. The Dominican fans turned up. They turned up in full force to support their team. Obviously, there's probably a Dominican population in Spain because I know that there's a couple soccer players that had the choice to represent both Spain and the Dominican Republic. I'm sure there's some kind of a diaspora community. But yeah, their fans turned up. So it was a 6-point game, and then Scrub hit a 3, which is, I think, one of the first threes I've seen made from the Scrub brothers that I've seen myself. But it is a big 3 because it cuts the lead from 6 to 3 with 50 seconds to go. So we might get a dramatic finish. Oh yeah, I'm also seeing now on the court, it says Andalusia. So like, I think that's a region in Spain. That must be the region that Granada is in. So yeah, they're playing in the Andes in Spain. Obviously that's a much closer to the Philippines than Canada is. So it's probably why the friendlies are being played there. I know against Germany, they were playing in Germany as well. So all these friendlies were in Europe, all of them. But yeah, big timeout. Okay, so once again, the camera shot of the timeouts is showing the clipboard that the coach is drawing on, like, very clearly. Like, it's the prominent thing that you can see. So I'm here, I'm looking at what the Dominican coach is drawing up. He's drawing up the play. Okay, so one guy is going to start on one side above the three-point line. The other guy's going to start on the other side. They're going to cross paths over the three-point line. Okay. I can see this. I can see what he's drawing up. They're going to fake something to the middle, it looks like. There's going to be somebody on the side that's going to get the ball. Okay, people, we're going to see if this ends up being correct. If I read what he drew on the board correctly. This is funny, but this is the thing. Throughout these last two games with these Spanish games that Canada's been playing, when they show timeouts and the coaches, because they haven't been showing commercials, they put the camera right on the coach, right, like you can see the board that he's drawing on. So, okay, let's see what happens. Did they cross over? No, they didn't. Okay, so it looks like that was the play to get the ball inbounded, because the two guys did come to the side. There was a fake to the middle in a way because they got the ball to Cat in the middle, and that was like a bit of a decoy because they got it out of his hands immediately and went to the sides. I think the people crossing over the three-point line would have probably been like in case of emergency. There were two guys at the initial points, but they never moved the way the coach drew it. Or maybe this play would be that. No, this play doesn't have those movements either. Bit of a decoy, I guess. All right, so 31 to go. Dominican Republic, oh my God. 3-point shot to make it a 6-point game. Banked that in. Complete fluke. Complete fluke. No way he was trying to bank that in. Just got rid of it, end of the shot clock, couple feet behind the 3-point line. Just jacked it up, banked it in. 6-point game, 30 seconds to go. That's probably the game. It was fun while it lasted. The bench unit, actually, to be fair, considering that they're playing against Karl-Anthony Towns, they did pretty well. I think Cat stepped on the court when the team had like a 4-point lead, and the fact that Canada managed to keep the game around that area with not only their bench lineup, but guys that might not even be playing on the tournament's bench lineup, guys that are like the end of the bench. They played against Karl-Anthony Towns and they held their own. That's really surprising, and as far as I'm concerned, like impressive for who they are. So we'll see what Canada draws up. We'll see if Dominican Republic gives us a turnover or some missed free throws. But if not, this game is over, and we pivot our attention towards the actual FIBA World Cup. The actual FIBA World Cup, which we will be doing watch-alongs for consistently. We'll be doing every Canada game and occasionally the other games that are relevant to what goes on with Canada throughout the tournament. All right. They're showing a replay of the shot. Yeah, man. Incredible luck with that. Incredible luck. Can't believe he made that. So this is Bell Haynes inbounding the ball. Scrub gets the ball, passes it back to Bell Haynes, gets a good look from three, honestly, and he makes it. Exactly 24 seconds left on the clock, 3-point game. So we're going to have to cheer for some missed free throws or a turnover here from the Dominican Republic. Some sloppy moments there. The initial inbounds pass got passed to somebody that was very close to the baseline. They could have stepped out, but they didn't. Fortunately for them. The next pass to the guy beside him was fine, but then that guy passed it all the way up the court in a bit of a crowd. That being said, I think they called a foul on Karl-Anthony Towns, like on the Canadian guy who fouled Karl-Anthony Towns pretty early. So none of that would have counted. But Cat goes to the line and makes the free throw. That makes it a 4-point game. Got to hope for a miss here. I think Canada only has one more timeout. I think both teams have one timeout if I'm reading the timeout thing correctly. Cat's got 20 now. Full court press by the Dominican Republic, which is surprising to see. Bell Haynes driving kick to Scrub, who misses, but Edie gets the rebound and gets fouled while shooting the ball. So he'll shoot free throws. We'll see if he makes them both, but if there's any hope in trying to salvage this result, it will have to be 2 makes here from Edie. So we'll see what happens. Semi-pressure free throws here from the big man. That's also the 5th foul for Cat, and I think that means he fouls out. Not that it really matters at this point, but I think that means he fouls out. Yep, he's fouled out of the game. ED makes the first free throw, 4-point game. If he can make the second free throw and we can get the ball in somebody's hands who it can't be relied on, or they probably won't put the ball in the hands of somebody who doesn't shoot free throws well, but maybe we can get somebody to make a bad pass. Obviously, Cat is like a big and easy target. They get the ball into somebody who, they had a really good play drawn up. That's that. So they got the ball all the way to the basket, kind of like the Hawks did against the Raptors with AJ Griffin. And guy got to the rim. He made the shot and was fouled. So that's an and one. And this game is over, people. We'll just let the last few minutes play themselves out before I end the stream. Shout out to everybody watching the stream. You're greatly appreciated, whether you're watching live with me right now or you're watching the replay. Regardless of how you're watching this game, make sure you engage with the content, people. So I'm not watching the game, watching the stream. Engage with the content if you enjoy this content, because you have the power to make videos bigger and channels bigger. YouTube's algorithm relies on your feedback to know which videos to push to other people. So if you're liking videos, if you're commenting on them, if you're subscribing on the to the channels, if you're staying active in these ways, YouTube's algorithm picks out that content to push to other people. So make sure you're liking videos, make sure you're commenting on them, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you enjoy what's going on, because that's what'll help me get bigger. And that's the goal for me ultimately. I want to see how big I can get this channel. I'd love to do this as often as I possibly can. But obviously, as of right now, I can only kind of do this when I get some free moments. But yeah, the power rests in your hands. Make sure you engage with the content if you enjoy it. Watch along on Friday, potentially a preview of the FIBA World Cup before. So that would probably be Wednesday or Thursday, but that one's not guaranteed. But yeah, watch along for every Canada game starting Friday. So make sure you're tapped in, people. I'll see you guys around. I see my boy Gum said he liked it already. I appreciate him. A lot of support coming from Gum right here. But yeah, I will catch you guys around. See you guys on